In August of 1997, Albin Johnson and his friend Tom published a GeoCities site named Attention Block 2551. Its purpose was to allow people to show off pictures of their handcrafted stormtrooper armor. Little did they know at the time that 28 years later they would have inspired just over 28,000 people around the world to use their love of Star Wars to give back to their communities. I'm John, also known as TB69269 of the 501st Legion, Vader's Fist. I've been an active member of the Legion for about 12 years now, with 75 troops under my belt. I want to talk to you a little bit today about the 501st Legion, what the Legion is, what the Legion does, how would you join, some of our costuming requirements, and then how would you request an appearance. So we'll start out with what is a Legion. This is the question I get asked whenever I'm out representing. Maybe you're walking through a convention or you see us out in costume. You just want to know what we are. That's best summed up in Article 2 of our charter, our mission statement. The 501st Legion is an international costuming organization dedicated to celebrating Star Wars through the creation and use of quality costumes that portray the villainous, morally ambiguous, or nonpartisan characters from the Star Wars universe. The Legion promotes interest in Star Wars and facilitates the use of these costumes for Star Wars-related events, as well as contributing to the local community through charity and volunteer work. Very simply, we're geeks that love to wear our costumes and love to do charity work. Now that you know a little bit about what the Legion is, well, let me tell you about what the Legion does. This is the core of who we are. Our bread and butter, our charity work, our children's hospital visits, holiday toy drives, Star Wars days at zoos and libraries, various 5K events or walk events like Autism Epsilon, Relay for Life, Alzheimer's, and then the Special Olympics. At conventions, we also have a little event that we do, or a little booth thing that we do, called Blaster Trooper. This is where someone can make a donation, pick up a Nerf gun with the little suction cup darts, and then fire those at our very shiny, very slick armor, and they usually stick on there pretty well, and everyone has a good time. With those donations from that event, or those events, we have the 501st Endowment Fund set up with Make-A-Wish. Since the Endowment Fund was set up in 2016, we have raised just over $409,000 for Make-A-Wish. On top of the donations that we make to Make-A-Wish every year, we also participate in wishes. We've participated in several little girls that want to be Rey or want to be Jedis, or I personally have done one where the young man wanted to be a scout trooper. And what we did for that was we had a maker make a costume for him, a smaller version of ours, and we got him dressed up, and we had bad guys, we had good guys. We did a whole little skit. He had a good time at the end of the day. Everyone loved it. The other thing that we do is what we call our high profile events. These are things that where they're not charity. They don't necessarily they do bring visibility to us, but they're very rare occurrences. There's an LA Times article from 2006 talks about 200 members that got to march in the annual Rose Parade. They got to march behind Grand Marshal George Lucas. More recently, Slashfile, a website that reviews television and movies, has an article about the 501st appearance from the Disney Plus show, The Mandalorian. Now that's a little bit about what the Legion does. Now, how do you join? These are our requirements to join, our costuming and stuff like that. With the requirements are simple: 18 or older, have a movie-approved costume. To remain active, we just ask that you do one event per census year. That's October through September, and then fill out your census every October. The biggest part of joining is the movie-accurate costume. We manage these through what we call the CRL, the Costume Reference Library. At present, we have just over 500 approved costumes, or approvable costumes. Within the CRL, you will find all of the detail necessary to complete the costume to one of three levels of detail, either the basic approval, the level 2, or for some costumes, the level 3. The Stormtroopers call their level 3 the Centurion. And as you look through the CRL, you'll see the detail increasing from, this looks like a stormtrooper to this really looks like a stormtrooper because it matches, a color scheme or the way something's cut, to this actually looks like the screen used prop. It's cut a certain way, painted a certain way, has certain details on the armor. So that's a little bit about, how what our requirements are and our costuming. Now, how would you request an appearance? So that's as simple as going on our website, 501st.com. Up in the top right-hand corner, there's a button that you can click that says Request an Appearance. Fill out a short web form. One of our event coordinators will reach out to you, and the process begins there all the way up to, we show up, everyone has a great time. So that's a little bit about the 501st Legion, what the Legion is, what we do, how you become a member. The 501st Legion starts off as many great stories do, with two people in a garage with an idea. But this time, instead of spawning an industry, it spawned a multinational force for good.